From the shadows of a ghetto in Frankfurt, one man dared to dream beyond the limits of his birth. Mayer Amschel Rothschild rose to create a dynasty that would control the pulse of global finance, shape governments, and rewrite the rules of wealth and power. This is the story of the man who turned ambition into an empire, forever altering the course of history. Mayer Amschel Rothschild was born in 1744 in the Judengasse, the Jewish ghetto of Frankfurt, a place defined by its cramped quarters and harsh realities. The ghetto was a confined space where Jewish families were segregated, living under strict laws that severely limited their freedoms. Mayer Amschel Rothschild parents were Amschel Moses Rothschild and Shunche Leshnik, both of whom had humble but important roles in their community. His father was a money changer, a position that required not only a sharp mind, but a reputation for trustworthiness, a quality that would become essential to Mayer's later success. Growing up in a modest home shared with extended family, Mayer's early years were marked by a sense of communal living. This meant that he was always surrounded by relatives, each one contributing to the household in some way, creating a dynamic and collaborative atmosphere. Mayer's family was not wealthy, but they had enough to live modestly. While life in the Judengasse was tough, Mayer's parents provided him with a stable foundation, instilling in him the values of hard work and discipline. Yet, even as a child, Mayer would have been keenly aware that he was living on the fringes of society, separated from the wealth and influence enjoyed by others in the city. This sense of being an outsider would fuel his desire to break free from the constraints of his environment and create a legacy that extended far beyond the walls of the ghetto. The Judengasse also shaped Mayer's views on community and loyalty. Life in the ghetto was tight-knit, with neighbors often relying on one another for support and protection. It was in this atmosphere of mutual aid and interdependence that Mayer began to understand the power of relationships, a theme that would become central to his later success. This early experience of both isolation and community would set the stage for Mayer's career in finance, where building networks and alliances would be key to his eventual rise to prominence. While the ghetto's constraints would never leave him, Mayer's experiences there would prepare him for the challenges that lay ahead in his journey to greatness. The ghetto's inhabitants were subjected to laws that prevented them from owning property or engaging in certain professions. While they were allowed to engage in trade, Jews were restricted to specific types of businesses, often those involving moneylending and trade in rare items like coins or jewelry. These limitations, though restrictive, also created opportunities for those with a keen financial mind, like Mayer Rothschild. Growing up here, Mayer would be aware of the prejudices that separated him from the rest of society. Yet, he would learn to navigate these boundaries with intelligence and resilience. His early years in the ghetto would ignite a desire to build something greater than the life that was prescribed for him. By the time Mayer reached adulthood, the Judengasse had already become a symbol of Jewish resilience in the face of systemic oppression. Yet, it also represented the limitations that the outside world imposed on Jews, who were often relegated to second-class status in the broader society. Mayer's time in the Judengasse was crucial in shaping his worldview. It provided him with a front-row seat to both the suffering of his people and the immense opportunities for those who could navigate the complex financial systems of the time. Little did anyone know that this young boy, born in such humble circumstances, would soon rise to become one of the most influential financial figures in Europe. The Rothschild family, though not wealthy by aristocratic standards, was well regarded within the Jewish community in Frankfurt. Mayer's father was a respected figure in the ghetto, known for his financial expertise and solid reputation. However, the family's modest circumstances meant that they often had to rely on each other for survival, working together to maintain their livelihood. Mayer's mother, Schönsche, was a pivotal influence in his life, providing emotional warmth and instilling values of diligence and perseverance. She nurtured his intellectual curiosity, encouraging him to pursue his education and dreams of achieving something greater than what was possible within the confines of the ghetto. As the youngest of several children, Mayer was exposed to a blend of familial expectations and the harsh realities of the outside world. His parents were determined to provide him with opportunities that had not been available to them, and they sacrificed much to ensure that Mayer could make something of himself. Mayer's upbringing in this tight-knit family environment taught him the importance of loyalty, hard work, and above all, survival. In the Rothschild household, every small achievement was celebrated, and every challenge was met with resilience. It was in this environment that Mayer began to develop the skills and mindset that would eventually propel him to greatness. Despite their modest means, Mayer's family valued education, and this was key to his intellectual development. His father had a wealth of knowledge about finance, and it was through his father's mentorship that Mayer first learned about money exchange and the art of trading. These early lessons would become the foundation of Mayer's financial acumen. Though Mayer's formal schooling was limited, his exposure to business and finance through his family provided him with a practical education that would prove invaluable. It was this mixture of hands-on experience and familial teachings that shaped Mayer into a shrewd and resourceful young man. At the age of 13, Mayer was sent to Hanover to apprentice under Jacob Wolf Oppenheimer, a respected coin dealer and financier. This was a significant moment in Mayer's life, as it marked his first step outside the confines of his family's modest home in Frankfurt. In Hanover, Mayer would learn the intricacies of foreign trade, currency exchange, and the business of dealing in precious metals. This apprenticeship was not just about learning a trade. It was about gaining access to a new world, one filled with greater opportunities than he had ever imagined in the ghetto. Mayer's time in Hanover exposed him to the finer aspects of finance, something that would shape his thinking for the rest of his life. Under Oppenheimer's tutelage, Mayer learned the value of trust in business, an essential lesson for anyone seeking success in the financial world. Oppenheimer was a tough but fair teacher, emphasizing the importance of honesty and diligence in dealing with clients. For Mayer, this experience was transformative, as it taught him not only the technical skills required to thrive in finance, but also the personal qualities that would make him a trusted figure in the industry. During his apprenticeship, Mayer was exposed to a wide range of financial dealings, from coin trading to managing accounts for clients. This gave him a well-rounded understanding of the business world and prepared him for the challenges he would later face. However, Mayer's time in Hanover was not without its difficulties. As a young Jewish boy in a foreign city, he faced the challenges of being an outsider, often having to prove himself in a society that was not always welcoming to foreigners. Despite these obstacles, Mayer's determination and intellect set him apart, and he quickly became known for his sharp mind and ability to understand complex financial matters. The apprenticeship in Hanover also taught Mayer about the importance of building relationships. He learned that in business, success often depended on the trust and respect you earned from others. Mayer's ability to forge strong relationships with Oppenheimer's clients and associates would become one of his greatest assets. In a world where trust was often hard to come by, Mayer's reputation for reliability and honesty began to grow, and he soon made a name for himself as someone to be trusted with important financial dealings. By the time Mayer completed his apprenticeship, he had not only learned the trade of coin dealing, but had also gained a deeper understanding of the global financial system. This experience set him apart from others who had only learned the basics of finance, and it gave him the confidence to return to Frankfurt and begin his own financial career. It was in Hanover that Mayer learned the skills that would serve as the foundation for his future success, and it was here that he first glimpsed the world of wealth and power that he would one day become a part of. After completing his apprenticeship, Mayer returned to Frankfurt with a new set of skills and a vision for his future. He began trading rare coins, which was a lucrative business, especially in a city as vibrant and financially active as Frankfurt. Mayer's knowledge of coin trading, combined with his keen financial acumen, allowed him to quickly establish a reputation as one of the most trusted dealers in the city. His ability to assess the value of rare coins and other precious metals set him apart from others in the market, and he began to attract the attention of influential figures within Frankfurt's banking community. Mayer's coin trading business was not just a way to make money. It was the beginning of his rise to prominence in the financial world. As he traded coins and currency, he began to build relationships with key figures in the city's aristocracy. His work caught the attention of Crown Prince Wilhelm of Hesse, who became one of his first patrons. This relationship would prove to be pivotal in Mayer's career, as it opened the door to the royal court and provided him with a steady stream of business from wealthy and influential clients. Mayer's ability to navigate the complex social and political landscape of Frankfurt helped him gain the trust of some of the most powerful figures in the city. Through his work in coin trading, Mayer also developed a deep understanding of the global financial system, which would later serve him well when he expanded into other areas of banking. Coin trading was not just about buying and selling. It was about understanding the value of money and the intricacies of international trade. Mayer's expertise in currency exchange allowed him to engage in business transactions with people from all over Europe, further expanding his influence and reputation. Mayer's growing success in the coin trade allowed him to diversify his interests and expand into other areas of finance. As his reputation as a skilled financier grew, he began to handle larger and more complex transactions, eventually becoming involved in lending and managing the finances of wealthy families. By the time Mayer reached his 30s, he was firmly entrenched in Frankfurt's financial elite, and his work had earned him a reputation as one of the most astute businessmen in the city. His ability to navigate the complex world of finance, combined with his integrity and work ethic, helped him build the foundation for what would become the Rothschild banking empire. Through his coin trading business, Mayer Rothschild not only built a successful career, but also laid the groundwork for his future success. His early work in this field helped him develop the skills and reputation that would later propel him to the heights of European finance. By the time he became a trusted advisor to the wealthy elite of Frankfurt, Mayer was already well on his way to establishing the Rothschild family as one of the most influential banking dynasties in history. In 1769, Mayer's career took a significant step forward when he was appointed court factor to the Landgrave of Hesse Castle. This prestigious position placed him at the heart of European nobility, directly serving the financial needs of one of the most powerful figures in Germany. As court factor, Mayer became responsible for managing the Landgrave's finances, overseeing loans, investments, and various financial transactions. This position not only elevated Mayer's status, but also provided him with unparalleled access to the world of royalty and aristocracy. The court factor role was a pivotal moment in Mayer's career, as it opened doors to new opportunities and allowed him to expand his influence far beyond Frankfurt's Jewish community. Mayer's financial expertise, combined with his ability to manage the Landgrave's wealth with discretion, earned him the trust and respect of the European elite. His relationships with powerful figures in both the royal court and the wider financial world grew stronger, cementing his position as one of the most trusted financiers in Europe. This appointment also marked the beginning of Mayer's move from a small, local financier to a player on the international stage. His work as court factor introduced him to the intricacies of government finance, and he quickly became known for his ability to manage large-scale financial operations. The Landgrave's trust in Mayer was a testament to his skill, as well as his ability to navigate the complex political and financial systems of the time. Through his work for the Landgrave, Mayer established a reputation for being a reliable and competent financial advisor, which would serve him well in the years to come. By managing the Landgrave's finances, Mayer Rothschild was not just securing his own future, but also laying the foundation for his family's success. This role allowed him to accumulate wealth and prestige, but it also gave him the opportunity to build the network of contacts and alliances that would later prove invaluable in his rise to prominence. As court factor, Mayer began to understand the power of influence and the importance of relationships, lessons that would become central to the Rothschild family's success in the years that followed. Mayer's appointment as court factor was a turning point in his career, marking the beginning of his ascent to the heights of European finance. The position provided him with the financial clout and connections that he needed to expand his influence and establish the Rothschild banking empire. With this appointment, Mayer Rothschild was no longer just a skilled financier. He had become a central figure in the world of European banking and aristocracy. It was here that the foundation for the Rothschild dynasty was truly laid. Mayer Amschel Rothschild married Göttel Schnapper in 1770, a union that would play a crucial role in the creation of the Rothschild banking dynasty. Göttel was from a well-established Jewish family, and her marriage to Mayer marked not just the joining of two individuals, but the strategic formation of a powerful family that would go on to shape European finance. Together, Mayer and Göttel had 5 sons: Amschel, Salomon, Nathan, James, and Karl. Each of these sons would carry the Rothschild name to different corners of Europe, solidifying the family's global influence. Their births were symbolic of Mayer's growing ambitions, as each son was raised with the vision of expanding the family's legacy across Europe's major financial centers. The Rothschild family's early years were focused on building a stable financial foundation. Though Mayer and Göttel did not come from aristocratic backgrounds, their union was one grounded in mutual respect and a shared commitment to family and ambition. Göttel, as the matriarch, played an integral role in the emotional and educational upbringing of their children, ensuring they were instilled with both the values of their Jewish heritage and the financial acumen needed to succeed. The Rothschild household was filled with rigorous discipline, but also warmth and familial loyalty, which allowed Mayer's ambitious plans for his sons to take root. Mayer and Göttel's 5 sons were raised with the expectation that they would each play a pivotal role in the family's financial empire. Mayer had already established himself as a significant financial player in Frankfurt, but he understood that the future of the Rothschilds required more than just a single successful businessman. By having 5 sons, he was ensuring that his vision for a pan-European banking network would not be constrained by a single location. Each son was trained in different aspects of business and finance, receiving a rigorous education that would prepare them to navigate the complex world of European trade and banking. The Rothschilds' marriage and family structure were not just about love and connection, but about securing the future. Göttel's role in raising the 5 sons was as much about shaping future leaders as it was about providing a nurturing environment for them. Mayer's careful planning and Göttel's steady influence ensured that their sons were well equipped to carry forward their legacy, each taking a specific geographical region in Europe and establishing a branch of the Rothschild banking empire. This strategy of expanding the family's reach to multiple financial capitals was the foundation of the Rothschild dynasty's success. The births of Mayer and Göttel's 5 sons would eventually change the course of European finance. Each son was not just an heir to Mayer's wealth, but a critical player in a carefully constructed plan that spanned across continents. Mayer's marriage to Göttel, therefore, wasn't just a personal union, but a strategic partnership that laid the groundwork for one of the world's most influential financial dynasties. Their children, raised in a household that valued education, discipline, and ambition, were poised to take on roles that would secure their place in history. Mayer Amschel Rothschild's vision for expansion was far more ambitious than simply growing his wealth in Frankfurt. He understood that to ensure the Rothschild family's future dominance in European finance, he needed to establish banking operations across key cities on the continent. In the late 18th and early 19th centuries, Europe was a patchwork of kingdoms, principalities, and republics, each with its own political and economic systems. Mayer realized that by placing each of his 5 sons in a different European financial capital, he could create a pan-European network that would control the flow of capital across the continent. This was not just about building wealth, it was about shaping the future of global finance. Each son was assigned to a major city that was vital for international trade and finance. Nathan in London, Salomon in Vienna, James in Paris, Karl in Naples, and Amschel in Frankfurt. This strategic placement ensured that the Rothschild family would not be limited by the financial centers of any one city, but would instead have a hand in the most important economic hubs of Europe. Mayer's decision to send his sons to different cities was revolutionary. While most wealthy families of the time remained confined to one location, Mayer saw the need for diversification, not just of assets, but of influence. Mayer's expansion plan was also rooted in his belief in the power of banking to shape international politics. At the time, wealth was often tied to political power, and Mayer understood that by becoming financiers to the aristocracy, monarchs, and governments of Europe, the Rothschilds could have an unmatched level of influence. Each of his sons would build relationships with the ruling elites of their respective cities, ensuring the family's financial services would be indispensable to the political decisions of the time. This foresight, coupled with his trust in his son's abilities, ensured that the Rothschild banking empire would span multiple generations. The Rothschilds' global network was also designed to take advantage of the Industrial Revolution. As European nations began to invest in railroads, mining, and infrastructure, Mayer saw an opportunity for the Rothschild family to capitalize on these developments. By placing his sons in cities where industrial growth was taking place, Mayer ensured that the Rothschilds would have a front-row seat to Europe's economic transformation. The banking network he established allowed the Rothschilds to fund these burgeoning industries, making them not only bankers, but key players in the modernization of Europe. Nathan Mayer Rothschild's establishment of N.M. Rothschild and Sons in London marked the beginning of the Rothschild family's dominance in British finance. Nathan's banking skills, combined with his shrewd understanding of international finance, made him an indispensable figure in British banking. Nathan's influence in London was not limited to military financing. He also played a significant role in financing the construction of the railroads, an industry that would shape Britain's industrial future. By the time the war ended, Nathan had established himself as a key figure in Britain's financial world, trusted by both the British government and private industry. His reputation for reliability and discretion helped secure the Rothschild family's place in British finance, and his bank became the go-to institution for anyone seeking large-scale loans or investments. Nathan's success was not just a result of his financial expertise, it was also due to his strategic use of intelligence and information. During the Napoleonic Wars, Nathan was one of the first to receive intelligence about the outcome of the Battle of Waterloo, which he used to his advantage by making early market moves that netted him enormous profits. This ability to read markets, combined with his political connections, allowed Nathan to secure his position as the head of a banking empire. His influence in London was not just financial, but also political, as he became a trusted advisor to the British government and its financial affairs. As Nathan's influence grew, so did the Rothschild family's presence in London. He expanded the family's operations by investing in various industries, including gold, railroads, and mining. His success in London set the stage for the Rothschilds to expand into other major European cities. Nathan's ability to manage large-scale financial operations, combined with his ability to secure trust from both the British government and business elite, ensured the Rothschilds' place at the forefront of global banking. By the time Nathan died in 1836, he had transformed the Rothschild family into a global financial powerhouse. His work in London not only established the Rothschild name as one of the most trusted in European banking, but it also set the standard for future generations of Rothschilds. Nathan's legacy in London would continue to influence the family's financial operations for generations, and his vision for the Rothschilds as a global banking dynasty would become a reality. Salomon Mayer Rothschild's establishment of the Rothschild banking family in Vienna was a critical step in expanding the family's influence into Central Europe. In 1820, Salomon founded the Rothschild banking firm in Vienna, taking advantage of the city's strategic position as a cultural and economic hub in Europe. Vienna was home to several royal families, and Salomon quickly became the banker to the Austrian emperor and other aristocrats. Through his relationship with the Austrian royal family, Salomon was able to provide loans and financial services that helped stabilize the empire during a time of economic uncertainty. Salomon's financial expertise was evident in his work with the Austrian government. He played a pivotal role in financing the country's infrastructure projects, including the construction of railroads, which were crucial to the modernization of Austria. His work in banking helped make Austria one of the most industrialized nations in Europe, and the Rothschild name became synonymous with reliability and success. Salomon's ability to navigate the complexities of Austrian politics allowed him to secure the family's place in one of Europe's most important financial centers. Salomon's success in Vienna was also marked by his ability to diversify his investments. In addition to financing government projects, he also invested in industries such as coal mining and construction. By doing so, he ensured that the Rothschild family's wealth was not just tied to one industry, but was spread across multiple sectors, ensuring long-term financial stability. His ability to balance political connections with business acumen allowed him to grow the family's influence and wealth in Austria. Salomon's work in Vienna also helped establish the Rothschilds as key players in European diplomacy. His financial dealings with the Austrian government allowed him to gain access to important political figures, and his reputation for discretion and reliability made him a trusted advisor to the ruling elite. By establishing a strong presence in Vienna, Salomon helped solidify the Rothschild family's role as a major force in European finance and politics. When Salomon died in 1864, he left behind a thriving banking empire in Vienna. His legacy in Austria was one of financial success, political influence, and lasting impact on the country's development. Salomon's work in Vienna laid the groundwork for future generations of Rothschilds to continue expanding their financial empire across Europe, ensuring the family's place in history. James Mayer de Rothschild's establishment of de Rothschild Frères in Paris was a significant move in the Rothschild family's expansion into France. In 1812, James set up the Paris branch of the Rothschild Bank, recognizing the city's importance in the world of finance, politics, and trade. France, recovering from the Napoleonic Wars, was in need of financial stability, and James quickly became a trusted financier to the French government. His ability to manage large-scale loans and his deep understanding of French politics helped solidify the Rothschild name in one of Europe's most influential countries. James's work in Paris extended beyond government loans. He was instrumental in financing the Industrial Revolution in France, particularly the expansion of the railroad system, which was critical to the nation's modernization. His investments in these projects made the Rothschild family an essential part of France's economic growth, and his influence in the country grew as a result. By positioning himself in Paris, James ensured that the Rothschilds would play a central role in the financial and industrial future of France. James' success in Paris was also marked by his ability to work within the complexities of French society. He became close to key political figures and used his position to help shape French economic policy. His strategic investments in both public and private ventures helped transform France into a leading industrial power, and his work in banking ensured the Rothschilds' place as one of the most trusted financial institutions in the country. Through his work in Paris, James also became known for his philanthropy. He was a major patron of the arts and culture, funding several projects that helped shape France's cultural identity. His generosity and support for public institutions endeared him to the French elite and ensured that the Rothschilds were seen as not only powerful financiers, but also benefactors of French society. James's legacy in Paris extended beyond finance, as he played an important role in shaping the cultural and social landscape of France. When James died in 1868, he left behind a powerful financial empire in Paris. His work had helped establish the Rothschild family as a dominant force in French banking, and his legacy would continue to influence the family's operations for generations to come. Through his work in Paris, James had ensured that the Rothschilds would remain a central figure in European finance, politics, and culture. During the Napoleonic Wars, the Rothschild family became central to financing the British war effort, marking a turning point in European financial history. At the time, Britain was embroiled in a life-or-death struggle against Napoleon, and its financial resources were being stretched thin. The British government turned to the Rothschilds to secure funds, a move that would forever change the family's standing in the world. Nathan Mayer Rothschild, based in London, played a pivotal role in organizing the vast loans necessary to fund the war. His ability to arrange large-scale loans through his European network enabled Britain to continue its fight, even when other financial institutions were hesitant to lend. Nathan's personal involvement in the war effort showed the Rothschilds' growing influence. He was not merely a passive financier, but an active participant in shaping the course of British strategy. The family's banking system, built on trust and financial expertise, provided a lifeline to the British government, which lacked the resources to sustain such a long and costly war. Mayer Rothschild's financial acumen, combined with his deep understanding of European politics, allowed the Rothschild family to step in at a critical time. This role as a crucial financier, combined with their reputation for reliability, cemented the Rothschilds as the preferred bankers of European governments. While Nathan was the key figure in London, the other Rothschild brothers were equally involved in supporting the British war effort from their respective cities. The family's ability to mobilize vast resources across Europe, whether through loans, bonds, or investments, demonstrated their dominance in international finance. By financing the Napoleonic Wars, the Rothschilds proved not just their business savvy, but their ability to influence the course of history through capital. The war was an economic battleground, and the Rothschilds emerged as its unrivaled victors, reshaping the future of Europe's financial landscape. The Napoleonic Wars also provided an opportunity for the Rothschilds to further expand their banking empire. As the family became deeply entrenched in European politics, their financial influence expanded to new regions. Their success in financing the war allowed the Rothschilds to build stronger relationships with European monarchs and governments, ensuring a permanent place at the heart of international finance. The wealth generated during this period set the stage for their future ventures and provided the foundation for their global banking empire. By the end of the Napoleonic Wars, the Rothschilds had secured their legacy as Europe's preeminent banking family. The war, with all its political upheavals and economic strain, had forged their fortunes in fire. Their influence in British, French, and Austrian financial matters allowed them to expand into other sectors and dominate the banking industry. The family's ability to navigate the financial intricacies of war and politics would continue to serve them well as they moved forward into the 19th century, where even greater challenges and rewards awaited. The Battle of Waterloo, fought in 1815, would become one of the most legendary events in Rothschild family history. Nathan Mayer Rothschild, based in London, received crucial intelligence about the outcome of the battle before the British government did. As soon as news of Wellington's victory reached Nathan, he quickly seized the opportunity to influence the financial markets. By using his extensive network of couriers and agents, Nathan was able to act on this information before anyone else, capitalizing on the market's uncertainty. This allowed him to make a significant profit by purchasing British government bonds, just as prices were about to surge following the victory. Nathan's ability to act quickly, combined with his intimate knowledge of market movements, made him one of the most successful financiers of the time. His intelligence network was unparalleled, and it was this access to information that allowed him to make decisions that were ahead of the curve. At the time, information was one of the most valuable assets in the financial world, and Nathan had developed a system that allowed him to acquire it faster than anyone else. His decision to buy up British bonds at a low price and then sell them once the news of Wellington's victory spread was a masterstroke of financial strategy. The Rothschild family's role in the Battle of Waterloo intelligence story became a symbol of their extraordinary financial acumen. Nathan was able to turn the uncertainty surrounding the outcome of the battle into a major financial gain for the Rothschild family. This event highlighted the family's ability to use information, timing, and their network of connections to stay several steps ahead of the competition. Nathan's success at Waterloo solidified the Rothschilds' reputation as the financiers of the European elite, able to control the flow of capital based on their superior access to information. While Nathan's actions at Waterloo were certainly controversial, they also marked a key moment in the evolution of modern finance. The ability to make decisions based on privileged information foreshadowed the kind of financial strategies that would dominate the 19th century. Nathan's success in this instance showed the power of timing, information, and intelligence in shaping financial markets. The Rothschilds' dominance in the banking world was no longer just about wealth. It was about using financial intelligence to control the flow of capital across Europe. Nathan's actions after the Battle of Waterloo demonstrated how the Rothschild family was able to turn even the most volatile and uncertain situations into opportunities for financial gain. His swift response to the news of Wellington's victory solidified his place in financial history. This moment would become one of the many stories that fueled the myth of the Rothschilds as financial geniuses who shaped the fate of nations. But it was not just the fortune they amassed that made them legendary. It was their ability to use their intelligence and network to dominate the world's financial markets. The Rothschild family was not just a source of wealth, they were also pioneers in the development of modern financial instruments. In the early 19th century, Mayer Amschel Rothschild and his sons recognized the need for new financial tools to accommodate the expanding European economy. The Rothschilds were the first to introduce government bonds as a financial instrument, allowing governments to raise capital by borrowing from private investors. This innovation revolutionized the way money was raised for large-scale infrastructure projects, military campaigns, and industrial development. The Rothschilds' introduction of government bonds allowed them to become central figures in the financing of European states. By creating a standardized way for governments to borrow money, the Rothschilds transformed the relationship between banks, governments, and investors. Governments no longer had to rely on local taxes or foreign loans. They could now tap into a global network of investors, with the Rothschild family acting as the central conduit for these transactions. This new system of borrowing and lending helped to fuel the economic development of Europe in the 19th century, particularly in industries such as railroads, mining, and agriculture. The Rothschilds' role in shaping modern finance did not end with government bonds. They also pioneered the development of other financial instruments, such as bearer bonds, and the creation of private investment funds. These innovations allowed for greater liquidity and flexibility in financial markets, giving investors more options for managing their capital. The Rothschilds' contributions to financial innovation not only benefited the family, but also helped to modernize the global economy, making it easier for businesses and governments to access the capital they needed for expansion. One of the key reasons the Rothschild family became so successful was their ability to adapt to the changing needs of the global economy. As industrialization took hold in Europe, new opportunities for investment emerged, and the Rothschilds were quick to seize them. They understood that the world was moving from agrarian economies to industrialized nations, and they tailored their financial products to meet the demands of this new era. By doing so, they positioned themselves at the forefront of the global financial revolution. Through their innovation in financial instruments, the Rothschild family helped to shape the modern financial world. Their pioneering work in creating government bonds and other financial products laid the foundation for the financial systems that would emerge in the 20th century. The Rothschilds' ability to innovate, combined with their vast network and political connections, ensured that they would remain at the center of European and global finance for generations to come. As Europe entered the Industrial Revolution, the Rothschilds saw an opportunity to diversify their investments beyond banking and finance. They became early investors in the development of railroads, an industry that was reshaping the continent's economy. The Rothschild family's financial expertise made them ideal partners for the ambitious railroad projects that were being developed across Europe. The family's investments in railroads helped to fund the expansion of transportation networks, which were critical to the industrialization of Europe. These railroads not only facilitated the movement of goods, but also spurred economic growth by creating jobs and opening up new markets. The Rothschilds' involvement in railroads was not limited to financing. They were also deeply involved in the strategic planning and management of these projects. Their financial expertise allowed them to navigate the complexities of large-scale infrastructure projects, which required not only capital, but also careful planning and execution. The Rothschilds were able to connect key regions across Europe, from the British Isles to the heart of the Austrian Empire, and their investments played a critical role in the development of national economies. In addition to railroads, the Rothschilds also expanded their investments into other industries, including mining, agriculture, and manufacturing. They recognized that the growth of European industries was closely tied to the availability of capital, and they were quick to provide the financial resources necessary for expansion. By diversifying their investments, the Rothschilds ensured that their wealth was not reliant on any one industry, creating a diversified portfolio that would weather economic downturns and continue to generate profits. Their investments in industry also helped to shape the direction of Europe's Industrial Revolution, driving innovation and fostering economic growth. As industrialization spread across Europe, they were at the forefront, using their wealth and influence to fund the development of key industries. Their ability to identify opportunities in emerging markets allowed them to stay ahead of the competition and maintain their position as one of Europe's most powerful financial families. The family's investments in railroads, mining, and industry ensured that they would remain at the center of European economic life, with their financial empire continuing to grow and diversify. By the late 19th century, the Rothschild family had become one of the most influential players in the global economy. Their investments in railroads and industry not only ensured their continued wealth, but also helped shape the future of Europe's industrial landscape. The family's ability to innovate and adapt to the changing needs of the economy allowed them to maintain their position as leaders in European finance, ensuring that the Rothschild name would remain synonymous with success and influence. The Rothschild family's influence was not limited to finance and industry. They also became known for their charitable endeavors and contributions to social causes. Over the years, the Rothschilds donated substantial amounts of money to educational institutions, hospitals, and cultural organizations, earning a reputation for philanthropy that extended far beyond the world of banking. Their financial success allowed them to support causes that were important to them, and their charitable work helped to establish them as not just wealthy financiers, but also as benefactors of society. The Rothschilds' contributions to education were particularly significant. They supported universities, schools, and academic research, helping to foster intellectual development across Europe. Their patronage of the arts was equally impactful, with the family contributing to the preservation of cultural heritage and the support of artists and musicians. By investing in education and culture, the Rothschilds helped to create a legacy that went beyond financial wealth, making lasting contributions to European society. In addition to their support for education and the arts, the Rothschilds were also involved in healthcare initiatives, providing funding for hospitals and medical research. Their philanthropic efforts helped to improve the lives of countless individuals, particularly in areas where access to healthcare and education was limited. The family's social impact was felt across Europe, as they used their wealth and influence to support causes that aligned with their values of progress, innovation, and social responsibility. The Rothschilds also played a key role in supporting Jewish communities, both in Europe and beyond. As a Jewish family in a time of widespread anti-Semitism, the Rothschilds were keenly aware of the struggles faced by their fellow Jews, and they used their wealth to support Jewish causes, whether through donations to synagogues or by funding charitable organizations that helped Jewish refugees. The Rothschilds helped to strengthen Jewish communities across Europe. The Rothschild family's philanthropy was a reflection of their belief that wealth should not only be used for personal gain, but also to improve society. Their charitable work helped to shape the world around them, and their contributions to education, healthcare, and the arts ensured that their legacy would endure for generations. The Rothschilds' commitment to philanthropy demonstrated that their influence extended beyond banking and industry, making them one of the most significant families in European history. In 1822, the family's immense influence and contributions to European society were formally recognized when the Austrian Emperor Franz II elevated the five brothers to the Austrian nobility, granting them the title of Freiherr, Baron. This recognition marked a monumental achievement in the family's history, signifying their transformation from humble financiers to acknowledged aristocrats. The title of Freiherr was not merely an honorific. It symbolized their deep integration into the highest echelons of European society. By receiving such a prestigious title, the banking family was acknowledged as more than just financial elites. They were now seen as integral contributors to the political, economic, and cultural landscapes of Europe. This elevation to nobility was a testament to the father's long-term vision for his descendants. While his financial prowess laid the foundation for the family's wealth, it was his understanding of social dynamics and political connections that allowed him to create an enduring legacy. The brothers were not just wealthy. They were now part of the old European aristocracy, joining the ranks of the noble and the powerful. This recognition cemented their place in history, not only as bankers, but also as influential figures within European political and cultural spheres. The impact of their noble title extended beyond personal prestige. It allowed them to secure more lucrative deals with monarchs, governments, and other aristocratic families. Their nobility helped to erase any lingering prejudices against them as Jewish financiers, reinforcing their legitimacy and standing among Europe's political elite. With this formal acknowledgement, they no longer just provided loans to kings and emperors. They were now peers, able to influence major European decisions and events. As they entered the aristocracy, the family began to weave themselves into the fabric of European high society, hosting events that bridged the world of finance with the world of art, culture, and politics. Their homes became places of importance, where royalty, politicians, and businessmen gathered to discuss matters of the state. This recognition, granted by one of Europe's most powerful emperors, was not just a personal triumph for the banking family, but a milestone that signified their transformation into a powerful dynastic force within European history. By receiving noble titles, the family did more than achieve recognition. They solidified their legacy in the annals of European aristocracy. This elevation was the ultimate acknowledgement of their significant contributions to society. From their financial ingenuity to their cultural influence, their transformation into European nobility was the capstone of a long journey that began in the Jewish ghetto of Frankfurt, demonstrating the immense power of vision, determination, and family unity. The banking dynasty's influence extended far beyond finance, as they became major patrons of the arts, music, and architecture, making significant contributions to European cultural heritage. Their wealth allowed them to collect rare works of art, commission buildings, and support artists whose works would go on to shape the cultural landscape of Europe. The family's passion for the arts was not just about collecting wealth. It was about contributing to the cultural and intellectual development of society. From commissioning exquisite palaces to supporting renowned musicians, they played an integral role in the flourishing of European culture. Art and culture were seen by the banking dynasty as an essential part of their legacy. They built grand homes and palaces that were not just residences, but showcases for their extensive art collections. Their taste in art was refined, and their collections included works from the old masters, along with new pieces from contemporary artists. Their homes, such as the Vienna Palace, became known as cultural centers where intellectuals, artists, and aristocrats would gather to exchange ideas and appreciate the family's vast cultural investments. The family were patrons of culture on a scale that few others could match, and their contributions to the arts were a testament to their influence. Beyond their art collections, they also supported musical endeavors. They were patrons of renowned composers, such as Ludwig van Beethoven and Franz Schubert, helping to fund their works and ensuring their music reached the public. The family recognized the power of music to inspire and unite people, and they used their wealth to help shape the musical legacy of Europe. Their support for musicians was not merely financial. It was about enabling these artists to create works that would stand the test of time, enriching the cultural landscape for generations. Architecture also flourished under their patronage. They commissioned some of Europe's most stunning buildings, including palaces, banks, and estates that became landmarks of grandeur. Their architectural projects reflected their status and vision, creating structures that were not only functional, but also works of art in themselves. Their contributions to the built environment transformed European cities, and their legacy in architecture is still visible today in the grand buildings they left behind. The banking family's commitment to education and scientific advancement was another key element of their lasting legacy. As they grew in wealth and influence, they understood the importance of fostering intellectual growth and supporting scientific research. Over the years, they provided significant financial backing to universities, research institutions, and educational charities across Europe. Their belief in the power of knowledge and innovation was integral to their vision of a prosperous and forward-thinking society. In particular, they were known for their patronage of higher education. They funded scholarships, supported the establishment of new academic institutions, and contributed to the advancement of knowledge in a wide range of fields, from economics to medicine. Their financial support ensured that future generations would have access to the education needed to drive innovation and progress. Their investment in education helped to lay the foundation for Europe's intellectual development during the 19th and early 20th centuries, particularly in countries like England, France, and Austria, where their influence was strongest. Scientific research also benefited from their patronage. They funded scientific expeditions, supported medical research, and helped establish institutions dedicated to the study of natural history and physics. Their contributions to science went beyond mere funding. The family played an active role in the scientific community, helping to shape the intellectual landscape of Europe. Through their support of groundbreaking research, they ensured that their wealth contributed not just to their own family's legacy, but to the advancement of human knowledge. The banking dynasty's influence extended far beyond the world of finance, as they became deeply involved in European politics and diplomacy. As their wealth and power grew, they used their financial clout to shape the political landscape of Europe, often serving as key advisors to monarchs and heads of state. They understood that political influence was just as important as financial power, and they worked tirelessly to ensure that the family's interests were aligned with the political elite of the time. The patriarch's early connections with the German princes were the foundation of their political influence. However, it was his sons, each stationed in different European capitals, who expanded the family's diplomatic reach. Nathan in London, Salomon in Vienna, and James in Paris each developed strong ties to the political leaders of their respective countries, using their financial expertise to advise on matters of state. Their role as trusted financiers meant that they often had access to the highest circles of government, giving them the ability to influence key political decisions. Their involvement in politics was not just about securing financial gains. It was also about maintaining stability in the countries where they operated. They played a key role in financing wars, mediating between governments, and facilitating negotiations between European powers. Their expertise in managing large-scale financial operations made them indispensable to governments, and their involvement in diplomacy ensured that the family's interests were always protected. They were not merely financiers, they were key players in the shaping of European political affairs. Their ability to influence political decisions was rooted in their financial power, but it was also a result of their strategic thinking and long-term vision. They understood that in order to maintain their position at the top, they needed to be deeply involved in the political machinations of the time. Their relationships with monarchs, governments, and diplomats gave them the leverage to shape policy, secure favorable contracts, and expand their wealth. Their role in European politics helped to secure their dominance in finance and cemented their place in the corridors of power. By the end of the 19th century, the family had become one of the most influential dynasties in Europe, with their political connections playing a significant role in their success. Their ability to navigate the complex world of European diplomacy ensured that they would remain a key player in European politics for generations to come. Through their financial expertise and political influence, they had forged an empire that was built not just on wealth, but on power and diplomacy. The enduring success of the dynasty was made possible by the strong familial bonds that the patriarch instilled in his children. From the very beginning, the founder understood that the family's legacy could only be sustained if each generation worked together in unity. Despite their immense wealth and individual accomplishments, the brothers remained committed to their father's vision and to each other. This sense of loyalty and cooperation formed the bedrock of the family's lasting success, ensuring that their empire would endure long after the founder's death. The strong family ties were not only reflected in business, but in the personal relationships between the brothers. While each son was assigned to a different European city to establish the family's banking empire, they maintained close communication and collaborated on key financial decisions. This unity and shared vision allowed the family to operate as a cohesive unit, even across distant geographical locations. The ability to work together, pooling resources and knowledge, ensured that they could respond quickly to changing circumstances and maintain their influence in the ever-evolving financial landscape. The family's approach to wealth management was another expression of these strong bonds. They did not simply pass down individual fortunes, but pooled their wealth, ensuring that the family's collective financial strength was greater than the sum of its parts. This collaborative approach allowed them to weather economic downturns and political instability, as they had the collective resources to adapt to any challenge. The commitment to supporting one another, even in the face of adversity, was one of the key factors that contributed to their enduring success. As the family grew and expanded into multiple generations, these strong familial bonds continued to be a cornerstone of their legacy. While individual members of the family occasionally faced disagreements or challenges, the commitment to the family's greater vision remained unchanged. The family understood that their legacy was not just about wealth. It was about the shared responsibility of maintaining their influence and ensuring that each generation contributed to the family's success. This deep sense of responsibility and commitment to one another allowed them to remain united, even as the scope of their empire expanded. The enduring familial bonds became their greatest asset, ensuring that the family's legacy would continue across generations. This unity, rooted in mutual respect, shared vision, and a commitment to preserving the family's wealth and influence, was the foundation upon which their empire was built. Through these strong family ties, they not only created an empire, but also a lasting dynasty that would continue to shape the world for centuries to come. Today, the family's financial legacy continues to thrive with Rothschild, and company expanding its reach as a global investment firm. The banking empire that began with Mayer Amschel, Rothschild's visionary ambition, has adapted to the modern world, evolving with changing financial markets and technologies. From investment banking to private equity, their services have diversified, maintaining relevance in today's interconnected world. The family remains at the heart of global finance, advising governments, institutions, and corporations with the same acumen that established them as world leaders in banking centuries ago. Despite the changing landscape of finance, their core values, integrity, expertise, and trust, remain the foundation of their global success. Their influence endures, and while their visibility may not be as prominent, the legacy they built continues to shape the world's financial decisions. The modern-day banking empire is not only a continuation of their wealth, but a testament to their ability to innovate while upholding the pillars of their ancestors' vision. The family's investments have gone far beyond banking. They have diversified into sectors like real estate, energy, and agriculture, ensuring continued prosperity across multiple industries. In real estate, their holdings span prestigious properties across the world, ensuring long-term value. Their involvement in clean energy and renewables reflects a commitment to sustainability, embracing the future while remaining grounded in the family's tradition of strategic foresight. Investing in agriculture and mining, the family not only strengthens their financial portfolio, but also contributes to vital sectors that shape global economies. By expanding into diverse industries, they've created a legacy of wealth that's not just reliant on one market, but is built on solid, diversified foundations. The Rothschild family's adaptability in entering new industries has ensured they remain influential not just as financiers, but as key players in industries that drive societal progress and economic growth. This diversification secures their place in a modern world that demands flexibility and a forward-thinking approach. As global issues like climate change and social inequality gain urgency, the family has committed to sustainable investments and philanthropic causes. Their backing of renewable energy projects is a natural extension of their legacy, focusing on ensuring a cleaner future. Through their contributions to environmental causes, they've embraced responsibility alongside wealth creation, securing a future that supports both economic and planetary well-being. Their social initiatives have been just as impactful, with philanthropic endeavors aimed at healthcare, education, and poverty alleviation. By supporting numerous charitable foundations, they continue their ancestors' tradition of giving back to society. These efforts not only benefit individuals, but help create more resilient and equitable communities worldwide. The family's ongoing commitment to social and environmental responsibility is a reflection of their long-term vision, not just preserving wealth, but also contributing to the collective good. This approach helps to redefine their legacy, ensuring that it is remembered for its positive impact on both the environment and society. While the family continues to thrive in the shadows of finance, their legacy remains a subject of intrigue. Throughout history, they've faced both admiration and suspicion, often surrounded by conspiracy theories and myths. However, as time passes, their true legacy, rooted in financial innovation, philanthropy, and global influence, becomes clearer. Their contributions to the world, particularly in shaping modern banking, economics, and culture, cannot be overstated. Today, the Rothschild name evokes respect, recognition, and mystery, but also admiration for their role in creating a better world through education, arts, and social causes. Despite the myths that surround them, their public image is evolving, revealing a story not of dominance, but of strategic influence and societal contribution. The legacy of the Rothschild family is secure, not just in wealth, but in their ongoing ability to adapt, innovate, and contribute to society. With every new generation, they will continue to be a driving force in shaping the future, just as they have been for over 2 centuries.